Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the next video in this series like I've been talking about. Last time I made mention that I am in a relationship, if you didn't know that already. And most of the video last time was just talking through a thought process that I've had with my creative endeavors and how it's been one of many logic traps that I fall into all of the time. Today I fell in another silly logic trap. I would use the word stupid, but I don't think that's the good word to use all the time. So I want to talk about what the logic trap is that I fell into today. It was about 4 hours cumulative before I ended up here. So we're going to talk about that, and then I'm going to talk about that in the context of my relationship, and then I'm going to talk more about myself, my skill sets, what I'm good at doing, because I'm about to illustrate that I'm not very good at doing normal-ass things. So by the end of this video, it's going to be story time, but then we're going to be trying to figure out what I'm good at as a human and how creative endeavors apply. Let's just kind of get to it. So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Story time has to begin about a month ago, when I was at the point in my relationship where I want to see my fish be able to smile at me, and he's great at fixing things, and I'm awesome at holding on to broken Quest Pros that don't have face tracking that works. I've been really into that. I've been really holding on to that because I have 3 headsets. I had 4, but I gave the last one away because it was like a Rift, something like that. I bought it was third hand, like you can't give it away at this point. And I had a friend who was kind of getting into VR, and so I was like, here, just have this. And he's like, wait, really? And I was like, yeah, I will never, I have this so I can give it to someone else. Here you go. And then he has since gotten his own headset, which is excellent. It worked. And then I have the Quest 3, and I like having that because it's got higher resolution, and it's just good for different purposes, and the shape of it's a little better for sleeping, which is nice when you're in a relationship. So there's a reason that I enjoy having the Quest 3 around, and the Quest Pro I needed so I could smile really good. But I don't need a broken Quest Pro. I've just been having that just because, I guess. Problem is, I have never shipped a Quest Pro before. And it's a $1,000 device. And then there's other little pieces of memorabilia that I wanted to package as well, when I sent that off to the fish, which I did today finally. But it took me a solid month of dreading packing a Quest Pro to be able to do it in the first place. And the packing itself was a 2-day process because it took everything I had to even pack it all. And then today it took almost everything I had to finish packing it and then ship it because for some reason I had so many hangups about sending this dumb Quest Pro. I'll talk more about the Quest Pro in a second. First, it's time to talk about the swimming pool at my sister's place because the principle relates. And it's the same principle, actually. I've never cleaned a swimming pool before, and so what would have been a simple task for someone regular was for me a multi-day affair. I think it was 3 or 4 days of sheer panic. It consumed all of those days. It was all I could think about because how do I drain a pool? I've never drained a pool before. Do I have to do a siphon? Okay, how do I do a siphon? Did I do a siphon the right way? Do I have to really suck in this gross, disgusting water? I can't do a siphon the right way. I'm going to do it a different way. Can I dip something out? That's going to take forever. How do I empty a pool? And then after that, did I buy the right things to clean it with? And then how do I clean that? And then am I doing a good enough job? And then am I a good enough brother? It was nuts. In the end, pool story, whatever, I don't even know what happened to it. I don't think it was used again that year. And then it popped. I think everyone knew we didn't need this. I was just so hung up on it. I needed to figure that out, and I did. But it took days, and I knew while I was doing that, and it did not help, keeping in mind, a normal person, this would take a few hours. Even if they had never done it either. You watch a few YouTube videos, you just do it, and then it's done. And it took me 3.5 days, and I knew someone regular could pull this off. I'm panicking nonstop and I can't do this. And understanding that disparity freaked me out and made the process much more difficult. I went through that same exact system, baby, when I was trying to deal with this Quest Pro. There was also an emotional element to it. The pool was not made helpful. The pool was a harder situation. Because the emotional element was am I being a good brother? And then have I let people down in my life? And there was it's a weird emotion to put into that moment, but it did make sense for what I was going through. And some of the emotions here are I hope my boyfriend likes my packing job, which is a really weird problem to have, but I super duper do. And then of course I hope that I did a good enough job. It's a delicate, sensitive electronic. I'm pretty sure I packed it okay, but I don't want it to break anymore in shipping when it was already not functioning all of the way the right way. But the headset has some emotional attachment as well. So we're going to hit into the emotional attachment before I can wrap up the story of boxing the thing, which then will lead into the story of how I'm an emotional creature and I fall into really dumb logic holes that don't always make sense, which then will lead into my boyfriend being really good at doing those sorts of physical tasks that I'm deeply deficient in, but theorizing what that means I am proficient in and trying to find my value. So we still have some story to go through. Let's try and get to it. As for the emotional element to this Quest Pro, I've wanted one for a really long time because I needed face tracking for a really long time because I needed to try and find out who I am through a virtual avatar for a really long time. It's been my quest. I knew I needed the Quest Pro. Thing is, I am still not very good at investing in myself. Quest Pro, $1,000 device. I got it on the second-hand market for $700 when it was still $1,500. And then the first order of business, by the way, was breaking it. I tried working out in it and didn't realize there was sweat damage. And so sweat damage took place, I think, on like day 2 of even having the stupid thing. And so then I had to save up and spend $1,000 on a brand new one anyway. Because it was secondhand of a Quest, so they wouldn't cover it because it was outside the purchasing thing, and they're like, oh, hey, sorry about that, here's $10, so thanks. But anyway, it was that headset which I shipped that I bought the Quest 3 first because it was a baby step, it was a half step, and then I just had to save up money to take the full step. But it was when I was talking with an old friend I hadn't seen for a really long time named Uro, just from my past. I love that guy so freaking much. We get along, we always have, and we were going through kind of parallel journeys for a long time. And something about seeing him at a convention I'd been at when I was still trying to become Phineas Former, it all just kind of came together. And I thought, what am I doing here in a town where I don't really know anybody because I haven't really been expressing myself because I'm just out of position. I'm not where I need to be, and I know that of myself. What am I doing? I need to get the control. Like, I need to take the leap. And I was telling my friend about that, and he's like, you gotta do it, man. And he was just right in there, so supportive, right in the moment. And so I left the convention a day early, and I bought a secondhand Quest Pro in the area so I could get home with the thing that I needed, because I found one at the correct price. It was a strange decision because I was there to like work on like keeping up on my connections and to like get used to like interacting with furries again and try and make friends or whatever. So leaving early to pursue my life dream, I think when I say it that plainly, it does make sense. But it's that headset that I shipped today to my boyfriend. So then you combine, am I packaging it the right way? I don't want it to break anymore. And then there's the emotional element of sending off a device which was so pivotal to me at the time. And then I'm paying respect to like who I've been, where I was, my entire journey, tying it to the pool real quick, which is a stupid thing to feel like I have to do. But there was a lot of like journey about like being a good brother and just a lot of my past there. And so those are related, like adding emotional heft to anything that I do is inevitable and always makes everything harder to do. Because if it was just a rinky-dink headset, I wouldn't have cared so much. But it wasn't just any headset. It was a headset of dreams because it was one of the first things I really went all in on for me and belief in my quest. And it was just something that I needed to take care of. It was just really important to me to get that particular job done right. We're nearing the next part of this video, and it's long enough. I want to be done really soon. But it's that penchant I have for making ordinary things deeply emotional, so that as I unpack and try to handle the physical thing, I'm also working with emotions at the same time. It makes mundane things exceedingly difficult. To the best of my knowledge, my partner does not do that thing. He has this marvelous ability to just kind of be able to do something. He's the kind of guy who can clean a swimming pool easy breezy. it was like a small pool, you know? It was like a big family size, but it was like a blow-up pool with 3 rings. So it was a big pool that you just like blow up in your backyard, but it was just a pool. It was not a big pool. It was just a small pool. He's the kind of guy who could clean one of those. He's the kind of guy who could package a Quest Pro, no problem. And I'm willing to bet it wouldn't matter where he bought it, what state of mind he was in. It's just it's a device that he can't use. Like, I can't use it, but he can. And then I get to kind of enjoy it too, because then he gets to smile at me in VR. Like, that's great, if he can fix it, that is. And he probably can. He was confident that he could. So that's awesome. So happy. And he's the kind of guy who could just do it. And I am not the kind of guy who could just do it. And I think I'll quickly tie this into like a few videos ago, because I'm pretty sure I said that I would, even though at this point I don't think it's necessary for the narrative of this video. So quick interjection. And actually, never mind, I just realized what I thought was the quick interjection is actually its whole entire other video arc. So I accidentally teased at it, and that's going to be probably what the next video that I upload is. Sorry for teasing it, but that's just, I realized like the story is just bigger than that. So that's going to be related for the next video, but table it, and then we'll get back to this video. Anyway, point being, for this video, at least, I'm just doing the best I can over here. And the rest of this video is, I cannot, like, if I'm comparing myself to my boyfriend, it's kind of like you're comparing cats to fish, which you are. But it's like the apples to oranges, like they're just different things. He's better at things that are different, and I'm better at things which are different. I'm sure I'm better at making videos and just being myself, I guess. Like, I don't know. I'm better at playing the piano because he literally can't. That's just like the whole thing there. Like, I'm de facto better. But I just have a different skill set, surely, in the same way that he can package things like a madman. He can clean pools left and right, baby. That's what he does. He doesn't clean pools, but he's very hands-on. He's so good at that kind of stuff, and he sets up servers and figures out how to like make tweaks and like figures out Unity in ways that I can't. And he put clothes on my model because I could not figure it out. And he's just super smart in a lot of hands-on kind of ways. So this video's ultimate purpose is I want to talk through, and we gotta keep it fast. This video is so stinking long right now. So I gotta talk through, what might I be good at? Because the life I lived today was a mess. It was part 2 of panicking really hard about shipping off a Quest Pro. And then also the tomorrow's video, it was like, also there was a 4-hour little like thing that my head like, whoa. And so today was nuts, and today I was so very not regular. And I know you're supposed to say like, normal is boring, you don't want to be normal, I don't want a normal boyfriend, and what does normal even mean? But I think normal might mean something a little bit more like, it doesn't take you 2 days of sheer panic to send a Quest Pro, or 3.5 days to clean a swimming pool, and other things that went wrong today. Like, I was so super duper challenged in ways that are really basic for, I think, a lot of people. I don't even think that's like, it's healthy to an extent to compare yourself to other people. I think, like, don't run away with that thought too much, but other people are better at things like sending packages than I am, apparently. So what am I better at than some other people are? That's not something that I actually know, even though I think there's some answers that are obvious. So I'm going to just try and say some of the obvious things and see how they feel. I'm better at making these styles of videos than a lot of people, but I don't value that very much, because anyone can make this style of video. If you're a VTuber, you can just kind of make one of these. You sit in front of the camera and then you talk, you use your words. And not everyone has like the way with words, I guess. So you can just develop that. But I have peers who don't do what I do. Of the peers, there's 2 primary that I consider, is Campfire Harvest, who actually tries in his videos. But if I tried a similar, like, but does more, a different style, but there's similar sense of presentation and sense of humor, similar subscriber counts, both pretty small, and he's what I would consider most a peer, opposed to some of the other furry VTubers and stuff like that who are, you know, more established, I guess. And then the other one I like a lot is Cinder Shadow, I think is his name, Phoenix. has been doing content for a long time, recently entered into the VTubing sphere, and he does more of my style of thing most frequently. He does vlogs, but the style is different. I'm much more choppy, and he just seems much more like get in front of the camera and just more honest, straightforward vlogs, and has more theming to a video, and my videos are like super esoteric, like brain 5-dimensional chess, even though really I don't know how to package a swimming pool or whatever. But he tries in different ways, and he's actually better with like thumbnails and streaming on a regular basis and doing more of like active community efforts. And those are who I would consider to be peers in my VTubing space, and they're just different and not doing it in the way that I'm doing it. That's a way that I think it might be helpful to compare oneself to other people. What do I have that my peers do not have? So I might be able to come to value my skill set, and that's a little bit closer than trying to compare my boyfriend who can clean swimming pools and then me who can't. Those are way different things. And I don't know enough about where I'm at in life to be able to say like, well, I can do creative things really well. And it's like, that's not useful in our modern world. And I don't have a lot of value placed within myself. And I'm not yet at the state where I can trust someone else's sense of value in me to inform my own value in me. And that's deeply unhealthy in the first place. Like I should just unsay what I just barely said. Oh, this video was way too long, but I realize now that we're not even close to being done with it, for crying out loud. We're in it for the long haul. That's what I like to do in my videos. I accidentally unlocked a Chonker today, so it's time to keep it going with the next piece of chonk. The reason I'm determined to go through this chonk, by the way, is if I can uncover some of what I'm doing, what I have, which my peers do not have, I might be able to use the same mechanism to figure out what I have that my partner does not have. We're too far apart for me to compare, but I'm closer to my VTubing compatriots. So what do I have that they don't? And then maybe that'll help inform, what I have that the fish does not, or like what I'm just, how I can help, or just what I'm good at generally. Because right now I don't feel like I'm good at anything, but I have to be better at some things than other things just because I'm different. So let's see, I guess. It's super duper conjecture, but it's got to be the style of presentation, which is just I try and do the rapid fire speech, things like that, which the others can do, especially Campfire Harvest is better at that. But then also Cinder's Shadow, I don't know why I chose them specifically, does the emotional content, but usually it's a more even cadence of speech, and dare I say, a little bit more homey vibes. And both of them try, because they have subjects to their videos, which is something I might try doing now and then. Because I don't really. I show up and this is what we're doing, and then here we go, baby, and then I figure out during the end of it what it was all about in the first place. I kind of like that. That's how I am. That's just, I'm a messy head some of the time, all of the time. And is that really what I have that the others do not? Is a messier head and a penchant for not having a subject for a video before I go into making the video? Honestly, yeah. I don't see why not. That's a style of video, baby. Here we go. Just plop down. This is what we're going to be working with today, and then work with it and see what happens, And then I think a lot of the time something does come out of it that's kind of cool, and then you're watching the process of creation of the thing also. It's messy, it's kind of unique, it's really fun for me to do, and apparently it works because people also like it because I have a little community server now, and people have kind of gathered a little bit. So my style is, here's a body of emotion, plop it down, and let's just start fiddling with it and see what happens. I love that so much. And that's the thing that my compatriots in the VTubing sphere are not quite doing in the way that I do. I don't love ranking things by how gay they are. Campfire Harvest, I love you to pieces. I love your content, you're great. But that's just not, making specified videos is just not something that, it bottles me a lot, because that's just my style is emotion, plop it down, let's fiddle. And then, some of my other little funny podcasty videos, they're fun to do now and then. But, deciding, I'm so bad at planning things out. And then Cinder Shadow often covers topics and specific things still, and themes of video, the themes of video. And I do love just that simple, also honest integrity to it, but talks more about useful things decided against like emotion and work with it and just see what comes about. That's unique. That's just immediately what my style is. I think anyone would be able to agree who watches these. That's what I have that my immediate compatriots in the VTubing sphere don't. Or at least none that I've really seen that do it like me. So if anyone does have other me in the comments, let me know. If you watch other people who are like, oh hey, yeah, this reminds me of Phineas, please let me know. Because as far as I can tell, I'm the only one who does what I do the way that I do. So please let me know. So that alone does give me a little bit more confidence in my style, because I named specifically that the thing that I do that makes me unique is the thing that I do that makes me unique. Look, I don't know what I'm even doing here, but it's time for this video to be done. So let's hurry and get to some kind of a resolution, please. Because what that style of operation seems to suggest is I like untangling emotion and working with them, and I can do it kind of swiftly. And what this whole little video series is about is trying to film a lot of videos back to back that kind of thread together but stand alone on their own. It's something I honed over more than a year of trying, got pretty good at, and then tabled off. I'm brushing it back off. Like it's going pretty well. That's what no one else is doing. Here's emotions. Let's work with it. See what happens. Spit out a video. That's kind of, you got a guy presenting. I don't know. I like my style. We're done talking about my style. How does it relate to my relationship? And how will that relate to me as a human? I don't know. Honestly, it might speak to malleability. Solving problems in strange ways, opposed to solving problems in direct ways. Solving creative problems and putting emotions into odd places. And where I think might be the most practical application is I can untangle my own emotions pretty well. I do it on camera all the time and I love it. And some of my favorite comments in the whole entire world is when people say, like, I said something relatable or helped them untangle something they were going through that's something similar. That's my favorite thing in the whole entire land. And so to apply that in the real world might look like some kind of like a counselor job or something, where if someone's having a really hard time emotionally, then let's untangle that emotion. And a lot of people so frequently, like, I don't want to like be a burden, and I don't want to bring anyone down with how I'm feeling. I didn't want to mess up your day. And it's like, bitch, this is what I do. This is all I do. I'm the VTuber who does this, baby. That's just what I love doing the most. And I'm really good at it, I think. Or, you know, no one else. Like, I love what I do. And for a lot of people, a big old blob of emotion is just something that's really hard to handle. And it's not something that they have words to understand, because emotions are really hard to describe. And right away, I mean, that's so obvious, baby. That's something that I do that no one else really does. Not my peers in the furry sphere, and that translates into the real world pretty directly. The weird thing is I don't know how I can apply it to my relationship right now, because he's just better at swimming pool, cleaning, and whatever the other thing was that I've been talking about for no reason at all. And then it's a long distance relationship right now, which has been absolutely killing me. It's been terrible. Oh my gosh, it's the new worst thing ever. So that's just something new I'm going to chew on, because my partner untangles me better than I ever possibly could. And I can like manipulate with emotions, be like, hey, look at this emotional sculpture I made. And he's like, okay, well, that's great. But also, why were you sad? Like I just don't need to be sad anymore, because he can spend 5 minutes. And for me, it takes 5 hours of filming or whatever nonsense it is. So I'm still learning some of that. But as far as what skills in life I have, which seem to be on the unique end, is I can untangle my own emotions to an extent, but when presented with a tangle of emotion, I can flip around and play with it, and there's reasons that can work in the real world. And I'll take it to the direction that will help me feel best. Is in creative works that are outside of just myself. Is if we're telling a story which needs to be angry, and I have an artist, and then there's a developer or whatever the thing is, and then I can figure out like, hey, this guy, let's ball of emotion, anger. Let's understand anger together. And so make sure everyone understands anger the right way, and then we're going to work on a production together. And make sure everyone is on the same page with ball of emotion, and to kind of understand that together, because that's what I love doing, is taking a body of emotionality, fiddle around with it, and see what comes out the other side. I'm really good at doing that in videos. No one else is doing that in videos, which is what makes me distinct from my peers in the VTubing space. That's what also makes me distinct as a human in the real space. I didn't have words for any of that, and I put words for all of that right now in this video, so I feel a little better about myself now that I have named the fact that I'm pretty good at taking a ball of emotion and just being like, look at what I did with it. Even though it doesn't seem practical at all, it does not help me package devices. It does not help me. It gets in the way of packaging devices and cleaning swimming pools. Like, it messes up everything. It sucks so bad, but it has some useful possibilities in the future. Like, I don't know. But I don't know. I'm working on it. But that's what I'm also I probably talk a little bit about in the next video. I think, because I want to talk about the hole I fell in today. And then it might help me feel more about like what I unlocked today might apply in the next video. So I'm going to go film that now. And then this video is going to be done. What a long boy. Oh, goodness gracious. So just, I hope you enjoyed it, because, whew, I enjoyed it, but that was a big boy. All right. Bye, guys.